All right, so Q1 for the Elite product has been an incredibly busy quarter. We've just had a lot of things we've been working on and planning for the future. Some key things that we've released in Q1 for Elite customers is around availability. We've done a lot of work around our availability and the way we calculate availability to make it more accurate and give us the opportunity to expand on the way we use availability in the future. And a couple of those things we've done are some column options in your item selection screen. And so one of them is our status column. We've had that for a while, but what we've done is we've revamped the logic that determines which status label we display, so it's more accurate. In the past, we used a way that created some situations where it wasn't that accurate, and so now it's really accurate. And then on top of that, you can click on the label, and it will show you the contracts that are affecting the status. And so that allows you to not have to dive into actually the item availability calendar screen. You can actually see related contracts from the item selection screen with just a click. Another column option we've added is status details. So we've also had status details for a while, but it's been buried a few clicks down from an item. And so now you can expose the status details in the item selection screen. And I think it's a collection of maybe 9 columns that will show a summary at the header level, and of course at the serialized level, the individual items and where they're at. Are they on rent, off rent, on a service call, IMO, IRO, all those different things you'll be able to see in the item selection screen. So again, a lot of exposure to availability to help you make decisions and figure out which unit to give a person and which one's available or going to become available. So those are all 2 really big things. And then another huge thing that we've done around availability still is our availability delay. And so we've had a feature in the options tab in file maintenance for availability delay for quite some time, but it only worked when the contract was still open, when the item or items were still on a contract. Now you can opt in with a configuration and have that availability delay work post-rental, which means you can say, well, it takes us X number of hours typically to clean this product or get this product ready to rent. And it will create what we call a repairs delay contract that will put those items, so it's good for bulk items. So if it's linens or chairs, things that have to go through a process, or even an aerial piece of equipment where you want it to go through a certain inspection, you can say, well, it typically takes us this long, and it'll delay the availability post-rental. And so that's a really big deal. Another thing we've really been working on is coordinating with our e-commerce and our mobile teams. And so we're bringing a lot of value to Elite customers through the e-commerce platform and our mobile POR One platform. For e-commerce, of course, we've released the consumer portal, and so that's available to every customer. But what we've also recently done is release QuickLink. QuickLink is a new hyperlink you can put into your email notifications or email when you email a contract to a consumer that allows you to click on a link and go to a new landing page. It used to be that you just had web pay and you could pay for a contract, or you had an e-sign link and you could just sign for a contract. Now you have a quick link, which goes to a landing page, which today will allow you to see the details of the contract. It will also, if you're using our preferred payment processor, it will allow you to pay for the contract. And then the consumer can then also log in to the consumer portal. It's a self-service now. They don't need your help to access a consumer portal. They can just click on a button, create their own username and password, and then going forward, they can always just log in to the consumer portal, manage their rentals, see what's going on. We also have an advanced version of that as well that has few more bells and whistles. So we're really excited about the consumer portal. It has a lot of opportunity in the future. And then for our mobile coordination, so Elite customers using POR One Mobile, we have 2 huge things that we just released into the beta process. The beta process means that we have a small cohort of customers that are testing it to get all the tweaks out of it, make sure everything's working as it is expected so that when we release it to everyone, it's working spot on. So two things. One is Ready Tag. So Ready Tag is the idea that you're replacing the paper Ready Tag that you hang on the piece of equipment. You set it up by header record, something comes back, it flips to that status label that we talked about earlier. It flips that status to not ready. An equipment yard person out in the yard can see it on their phone. They see a list of everything that's not ready. They can execute a checklist. They can take pictures, and they can perform that same Ready Tag service and make it ready, and then it automatically shows up on the Elite side as well. And so there's all that communication is just happening digitally in real time now. And so that's a really cool feature. We're excited about it. And then secondly is internal work orders. And so this is where a technician on their phone can create a new work order and add parts to a work order. So that is really exciting too. And the Ready Tag and the internal work orders can work together. Whereas if an equipment yard person fails a Ready Tag, they could then also open a work order and make it down all from their phone, and everything just works. It's a really cool feature. A couple things that mobile has also been working on is the idea of syncing and taking images. And so what we've found is our customers love to take images. Lots and lots of images of all their equipment, which is great. It memorializes the quality of the equipment on the way out and then on the way in so that you can capture damage that customers have done. And there's been some performance issues with that, and our mobile team has just done an amazing job of increasing the performance of that. So with our last release that we just did this week, there's a whole new process of how images are captured and queued up and saved so that you won't lose any images. They'll happen fast. You can do them offline, the whole thing. So that's really exciting. The other thing that we've released just this week is multiple select serialized. So before, if you put a header record on a contract and you wanted the driver to serialize it, it could only be a quantity of one. Well, we know that a lot of you are renting 5 light towers, 5 19-foot scissor lifts. And so this now will allow you to serialize all 5 of those through that same workflow. You don't have to have multiple lines. You can just have that quantity of 5 on one line item, and then the driver or whoever can serialize those items one at a time through that same line item. So that is a really good feature coming out. And so Q2, we expect Q2 to be equally as busy and equally as awesome in terms of us delivering good products to you. The Elite team has been spending a lot of time around payments. And so we talked about the consumer portal that was just released and the quick link that allows people to, consumers to make payments online. Well, we have a really exciting feature that's being rolled out in Q2, which is around ACH. And so you will be able to offer ACH as a payment type in the consumer portal. So you can cut down on some of those credit card fees. I think that's a really big deal. And you know, we've been working with the payments team also on lots of other intricate things like fees and all these different things. And so you can expect to see some of that coming up in Q2. Another exciting feature coming up in Q2 for Elite is more availability stuff. And so we had a You Innovate idea that was voted on, and we decided, since we were doing all this availability work, let's knock out this You Innovate idea. And so this is around putting that availability in the suggested items or other kits. And so when you're writing a contract and you go through the process and you add an item, then it comes up with all these suggested items. You would click and select an item, and then it would tell you it was overbooked. Well, now you'll be able to see availability of that first screen of those suggested items. And so that can save you some time to select the right thing and not end up getting that overbook screen, just have to go back and search for it again. And so that's going to be a crowd pleaser there. Good job putting that You Innovate idea in. As far as Elite and mobile coming up in Q2, we have a lot of Elite mobile stuff. And so going back to the work order release, so we're going to be releasing to general availability for everyone, the Ready Tag and the internal work orders. And part of that internal work orders that we're adding in Q2 is to support assigned to. So if you have a service manager that is assigning work orders to technicians, those technicians on their phone will have a place to go and see my work orders. And so it'll help them just get focused on what they're supposed to be working on and execute and act on those, add parts as necessary and all of that. And then also in Q2, we're releasing consumer or customer facing work orders. And so these are external work orders of your team, your technicians repairing customers' equipment. And so that is also coming out in Q2. We're supporting that. So that is going to be really exciting. And then lastly, for Q2 and mobile and elite users, we've received some feedback. We've had the driver routes out for quite some time. So drivers who use the route feature on POR1, we've gotten some feedback that we can make it a little bit more efficient, a little bit more obvious in terms of the flow through a route workflow. And so we've worked with our design team and we're rolling out some updates to that we think everyone will really like. It's going to make it a little more obvious to which buttons you click as you go through a route and some automatic prompts that help you execute a route just more easily. The driver won't need as much training. He'll just be able to pick up POR1, start a route, and it'll all just make sense. All right, so that's a wrap. Q1 delivered. We hope you enjoy it. And then Q2, we're hard at it and we'll be delivering stuff real soon. Enjoy.